Hello and welcome to the BBC School News Report. Today we will be talking about eSafety for young people. Lots of young people are not aware of how dangerous the internet can be. For example, 40% of young children have experienced bullying on the internet. Furthermore, young people may be accidentally exposed to inappropriate material online or may be chatting to people who are much older than them without realising. Did you know that according to the NSPCC, 7 in 10 12 to 15-year-olds have a social network account? In addition, even though you have to be 13 to have a Facebook account, a shocking 1 in 5 8 to 11-year-olds have a social network account. Many people don't realise how easy it can be to create a fake social media account without realising it. You could be talking to someone completely different to who you think you're talking to. However, this doesn't mean that young people should not be allowed online. The internet can be very useful and fun when it's used safely and responsibly. We interviewed Mr. Benson, ICT teacher and eSafety coordinator at Minsthorpe Community College, about the problems young people can encounter online and how they can stay safe on the internet. What are some of the potential dangers of the internet for young people?
There's a few dangers out there. There's predators, obviously, who are looking for young children to prey upon, which is exactly the same as in the real world, but on the digital world, such as using social media, things like that. And there's big issues around bullying. Young people often get targeted by bullies online, just as they would offline. But people tend to say much nastier things online than they would face to face because they feel much more comfortable with that.
And can you tell us about the eSafety policy at Minsthorpe?
I can tell you about that. It was created 3 years ago, and it covers everything from using mobile phones to using the internet for communication, how students and staff should communicate to each other, how students should use communication, and it just sets out a set of rules for everybody when they're using the internet or using laptops and other devices when they're in college, and shows them how to use them or tells them how to use them safely, but it also tells them the consequences of not using them safely. And that's not just for students, that's for staff as well.
Could you tell us why it is important to keep young people safe on the internet?
Yeah, well, again, it goes back to predators being out there and bullies. They're the main issues we have in school around eSafety. There's bullies out there, well, there's predators out there. From a young age, you talked about stranger danger, which we in school believe you need to be taught about online as well, because you feel much more comfortable talking to strangers online than you do if you met them face to face in the street. So we try to teach you in school about what to do in those incidents and how to report them, who to report them to, things like that, and just how to keep yourself safe. And then we have bullying issues as well, and that's via text message, it's via mobile phones, and we tend to deal with those issues. But it's everything that can happen offline, which people don't seem to realise, bullying and things like that, they happen online as well. It's just so much easier to get at people when they're online than it is offline, because you can get at them 24/7, which offline you can only see them in school time.
Why is it important that we have an eSafety policy at Minsthorpe?
It's important so that when staff or students come to our school, they're very clear and we're transparent about what we expect. So they know what our expectations are, they know what the rules are within school about using these things, and then if we do have any incidents and we have to deal with it, it's dealt with, every incident is dealt with the same way. So you have that consistency. We don't deal with one person more harshly than another because we've got clear rules set out, and if these rules are breached, we have clear ways of dealing with each one.
What advice could you give parents on eSafety?
I would say speak with your children. That would be my advice to all parents. Speak with your children and know what they're doing. If they're on a games console, who are they talking to when they're online on the games console? What is it about that game that they like? If it's the violent aspects, then that should raise concerns, and they should be asking why it's the violent aspects of that game that they like. and is that game age appropriate? Or are they speaking to, is it people they actually know from school, or is it just random people that they're speaking to? Same on social media. Just have the conversations with students. Who's on your friends list? Who do you talk to? And then if their children then become secretive about these things and don't want to share that information with the parents, that should then give them a cause for worry and concern, and then it should give them a trigger point for actually digging a little bit deeper and finding out what the problems are and why they don't want to speak to them. So for me, having been a parent with young children in the internet age, it's all about communication.
Thank you, Mr. Benson, that was most informative. So it is clear that the internet is a great tool for our young people as long as they, along with their parents, are vigilant and aware of what can occur online. So in conclusion, follow Mr. Benson's advice and stay safe on the internet. Happy surfing!